Hey guys, here we are. We made it to the final stage of the special event End of the Road featuring the beautiful Bugatti Bolide. And we're back at Leipzig Circuit, the Porsche test track, where we started the whole event. But this time we're going to be in using the outer rim, the long on-road circuit for the final stage where we have 5 goals to complete. And we are still continuing on with the zero upgrade quest. So far, we've only gained whatever the game has to offer us, or the event has to offer us so far. So let's continue on. 5 goals to complete. We're going to be starting out with the tailgating while warming up the tires challenge here. So as you can see, we're still running with the stock PR 96. Recommended PR, of course, a bit higher, but that's okay. We can ignore that. Recommended PR, we rarely really, think about that much. Anyway, Ahmed is in pole position. I'm right behind him. Ahmed racing the beautiful Valkyrie. So the car is quite capable, the one that Ahmed is racing, but he, let's just say he drives like Ahmed, which is, I guess, fitting per se. So the thing to keep in mind in this track, in this goal, is don't worry too much about warming up your tires to 100% because you'll get there. The thing that you want to focus more on is getting the 120 seconds of tailgating behind Ahmed. So you want to try to, because Ahmed takes some goofy lines and Valkyrie does have, I think tighter handling around corners. So really where you want to rack up your tailgating timing is down these straights. So don't get too concerned around the corners. Make sure you slow down enough that you can make it through without, going off track or fall too far behind exiting those corners. And then, because down the straights is always where you're going to build up these tailgating time. More stress-free, right? And because I kind of crashed Ahmed in the first lap, we have another slower car to chase behind. I think it's a Ferrari, right? Yeah, I know. It's funny to say FXXK. I think that's the car in the lead right now. Is ever a slow car? Or is it? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. The important thing is if you let another car get in front of the two of us, then the chances are Ahmed is not going to be able to take off quite as quickly either. So that's kind of one of those extra thing that you might want to consider if you're having trouble with the goal. But I have a feeling if you made it this far, you're not going to have too much trouble in the final stage either. So, and of course, we're running with 0 upgrades, meaning there are still tier 1 racing dollar upgrades available for you to get, which is going to significantly improve your car's performance. So, that's still gold free. So if you're struggling, then I would say, go ahead and get them on. It's not that big of a deal. If you're able to afford this car, or if you're able to drive this car, I'd assume that you've been playing the game for some time. If you're new to the game, don't feel bad about, investing a little bit of upgrades. Certainly, racing dollar upgrades is something that you want to have. It's easy to come by, so I wouldn't worry too much about spending them, right? So, anyway, so that is the first goal. Prioritize the chasing behind Ahmed. And it's not a scheme. All right, so heading on to the goal 2. Now, this one's gonna be hitting the speed target. Target speed is 225 miles per hour or 362 kilometers per hour. And then overtaking 8 opponents before you start the second lap. So there's a bit of a timer in terms of overtaking. So you don't have to hit the top speed target 8 times before the start of the second lap. There, the wording is a little goofy in some of these goals, but the thing that you have to get done, the overtaking 8 cars, is the first challenge before starting the lap 2. And you actually have remember, you got almost the full distance of the outlap here, so you got a decent amount of time to make your overtakes in before the start of the second lap. It's like almost like, I want to say 1 2/3 laps, right? And yes, without any upgrades, I'm cutting all the corners that I can cut. Make sure when you come out of the first chicane, you brake, because you are getting quite a bit more speed than you might realize. And then, yeah, I'm using some of these. Okay, I was hoping the crash would slow me down enough, but apparently no. But yeah, so that's 7 overtakes done. Our 8th target is already acquired. If you can see them in the if you start see them on screen, they're within the, Bolide so much faster, makes the other cars look like they're, crawling on the circuit. But that's what happens, right? But anyway, so here's the beginning of the lap 2, and I got those 8 overtakes in. Obviously, I haven't hit that top speed target 5 times yet, but here's the one of the spots that you can hit the target speed, 362 kph. And they didn't say anything about damaging your car or not allowed to go off track or anything like that, which makes it quite, or you don't even have to finish in a particular rank. So if you wanted to, you could just go back and forth down that longest straight here and get all 5 instances of the top speed target after you get those 8 overtakes in before the beginning of the lap 2, right? But yeah, this is the other section by cutting across. I don't know if you don't cut across, you'll be able to hit the target speed. But yeah, you're in P1 easily, so I do not want to finish in P1 simply because I am still in bot training mode, so I don't want, after making it this far without putting any upgrades on, I don't want to have to come across bots that are too quick that I end up having to put any more upgrades on, right? So yes, I can easily overtake and get to P1 even when I'm driving that sloppy. But you know what? My car's gonna need service after this challenge anyway. So while I'm at it here, I'm gonna get extra practice lap in here, because the next goal, or the goal 4 in this circuit, or in this stage, actually the next 2 goals, if I remember correctly, do not allow you to go off track. So I am going to turn around, go back to the beginning of the lap, this final lap, and I'll try not to crash when you're going backwards and the other guys are traveling as fast as they are traveling. It's very easy to crash into the oncoming traffic, so I'm sure my car's a little damaged, but I don't think for what I'm trying to get in here, it's gonna make that much of a difference. I just want to get a extra practice lap. Oh, there we go. As I was saying, going smack into give Valkyrie a kiss. That's a pretty hard one, isn't it? Anyway, so 17 car grid. Obviously, I'm in the dead last because obviously I'm going backwards. But as I said, I'm gonna need to service the car anyway, and I'm not too concerned about what rank I finish this race in, since I completed the 2 goals that I needed to get in. But, whoa! Boy, those guys do come pretty quick, don't they? So anyway, I'm gonna rewind back to right at the exit of Centauri. Here we go. And then I will do try to do let's say practice lap where I am gonna try to stay on track. No, nothing guaranteed here. So that's yeah, and so far so good. There we go. And how early should I be braking? Apparently not early enough this lap, so yeah, skidding off like that in the following goals when they require that you stay on track, I cannot do that. So that's why I am taking on this extra practice lap here. And yeah, because I'm multiple laps behind the other guys now. Even when I overtake, you know, my rank is still gonna be dead last, but that's okay. It fits in with my plan here of finishing dead last to make sure the bots aren't gonna go out of control fast. You know what I mean? Anyway, the goal 2 is complete. We met that target speed. Hit the 362 kph 5 times and overtake those 8 opponents before start of the lap 2. All right. So far so good. 2 goals down, 3 more to go, and we are still continuing on without any upgrades here. But I am gonna need to service the car. So let's put the car in for service, and we'll return once the car's done with the service. All right, and after some 6 ads, here we are. We're back with the goal 3. So this one, yeah, no off track allowed. Actually, they do allow a little bit of off track, and we have to finish this out lap plus the 2 laps that we gotta do under 2 minute 20 seconds. So there's this one out lap isn't as long, but the clock is running, so we gotta get through this as quickly as we can. And this time we have to make sure we stay on track for the most part. I am thinking, because small amount of time is actually allowed off track, so you just have to make sure you don't squander it in places like that. But as you see, a little bit of time off track is allowed. So ideally you want to use it when you cut across, let's say the mobile one coming up right here. This would be a good one to cut across, but because I've squandered my off-track time, I'm not gonna chance it there. And let's see here, nice and smooth line. I don't think I went off track at all there. If I did, it was very tiny bit. And tight overtake there, taking over another Valkyrie. I don't think that was Ahmed. But anyway, so this is a crucial corner that you want to make sure you build up a lot of speed and I'm going to use Magnus as my physical brakes. Help me stay on track. And we got 31 seconds left, and guess we need to finish behind Ahmed. So yeah, as I said, that corner would be very easy to cut across because you'll be passing through that pretty quick. So you know, if you keep the rest of the lap clean, then that would be the place that you can shave off some time. And if I really wanted to, I think I might have been able to overtake Ahmed, but once again, they only asked me to finish in second place. So we're good there. I guess they said they didn't say at least second place. It was second place finish. So if you finish first, would they fail you? I don't know, because especially if you have more upgrades on board. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Magnus and Magnus, we have doppelgangers on the grid. But anyway, as I was saying, if you finish in first place, would that disqualify you, or would that fail you the goal? It might, because they didn't say finish at least second place. They ask you to place, yeah, second place, because the storyline goes Ahmed has to win, and you know, Natalia is surprised, and you know, Magnus doesn't care until she points out that Ahmed is now the new Lion of Leipzig. And this is what makes these special events fun. These storyline, as corny as they are, I do find them very enjoyable. It's fun. So now, you know, Magnus can let just about anything go except his title going over to Ahmed. If it was anybody else, I'm sure he wouldn't care. But obviously, you know, it's Ahmed, so he's like, no, not you, clown. So here we go. So we're gonna do a head-to-head for goal 4 against Ahmed, and once again, no off track or no damage this time, so we cannot crash too hard, and certainly we have to keep the car on tarmac, sort of like the last goal. A little bit of off track is allowed, and you have to finish under minute 3. Minute 3 without any upgrades is a little tight cut. If you have some racing dollar upgrades, even, you know, I don't think it'll be this tight. But when you're running with 0 upgrade, you know, I mean, best lap, if you didn't start from, like, you know, standing start, you probably could. I know, actually, as a matter of fact, you can do under a minute lap, but that's not the case here. So we gotta make sure we keep it clean. You can overtake Ahmed in the longest straight. Ideally, that's where you want to get it done and over with, so that way you don't have to put up with Ahmed's goofy racing line. You know? And this time, because I didn't go off track, I'm gonna cut there. As you notice, we get through that section pretty quickly. So, and that's what we want. We don't want to slow down too much, because minute 3 without upgrades can be, as I said, a little tight. So, but we are doing okay here. Yep. So, finishing the lap just in the nick of time, about just under half a second still left on the clock, but that's okay. So, all right, another goal down. Hooray. And Ahmed, minute 9, almost minute 10, in none other than Valkyrie. I wonder what kind of lap you can get in a Valkyrie here. Well, that'll be a video for another time. But for now, all right, so Ahmed has successfully brought Magnus out of retirement. By the way, some of these stages we've been racing as Magnus. Did you guys catch that? The goals were, essentially assigned to Magnus. Like, Magnus was borrowing the car to win over Ahmed, but obviously we were doing the race, including this final one where we have to obviously overtake the full grid and lap the full grid as well. So we get 6 laps to do it, which is just about right amount of time to do it. No other stipulations attached to here, so you can go off track, as in cut across. Crashing is fine, although not necessarily recommended since it'll slow you down. So yeah, and you should be able to make your necessary overtakes and lapping as requested here. So the thing to go by is where Ahmed is, and since we're given 6 laps to do it plus the outlap here, you want to be able to overtake the entire grid, right? Get to the P1 within first 3 laps. So that's, obviously we got 6 laps, so that's you're halfway into the race. And then with the second half, starting on sort of like lap 4, you can work on basically lapping every opponent. Now, Ahmed is once again in Valkyrie, so you would think lapping Ahmed is going to be a challenge, possibly. But the thing about the AI, especially like Ahmed, as he's racing and we're lapping other opponents, the thing that you might notice is he might get stuck behind slower traffic as well. So even if you at some points it may seem like you're not making enough grounds to catch up, your car is significantly faster. The Bolide there's no match, as the bonus series this car's featured in. It is unrivaled when it comes down to top speed. It is blazing fast. So and this track, Porsche test track, the long on-road circuit, we got good number of straights. Yes, we have hairpins at the end of these straights, but the straights are pretty long. And even this like chicanes like Mobile 1, we're making it into a straight by cutting across, because we got hard to win here. And once you win it, sure, you can take time and do what you gotta do. But anyway, I did make the overtake of Ahmed the full grid before start of the lap 3, so things are looking good. So this is kind of the pace that you want to move at. So obviously with 6 laps, taking P1 is not a big deal. It's the lapping the full grid afterwards. You got to keep things moving. So that's why I am continuing to cut across those chicanes, because they don't care. You know what? I just want to get this done and over with so I can win this car and enjoy it without any stress of having to win it by a certain time. Right? So now, because Ahmed is in P2, and that's the guy that we have to lap, so his distance marker is our goal, right? So we can kind of tell whereabout he is and what kind of speed that he's moving at. And you notice he's not moving terribly fast, So we will be closing in on him, and I guess by the end we'll see. When we are ready to lap Ahmed, we'll know exactly the full distance of a lap is, because whatever his distance marker says is the goal that we have to have, right? And this goal ends as soon as you make that lap, when you lap Ahmed or whoever's in P1. And unless you crash Ahmed, he should be the one that you P1? No, P2. I'm the one in P1. So yeah. So here we are, lap 5, and if you can make it through the chicanes clean, I'll definitely say that's the better way to do it. I certainly don't want to go off track. That's a huge waste of your time, and also you lose a lot of speed. So and you're also traveling longer distance because you're obviously going further out than where you need to be. So don't feel free to be a little bit more conservative when you're approaching those chicanes or the hairpins, right? Because the car's speedometer goes up pretty high, pretty quick. And so anyway, here we are, final lap, and Ahmed is actually not that far away, is he now? So there we go. He's gonna take the hairpin, and we're gonna take the hairpin. I should take my own advice a little bit closer. A little overzealous with the gas there, missing the braking point. You know. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, Ahmed is, I think, maneuvering through some of these cars himself, lapping some of the slower cars in the grid. Whoa! But the thing is, that's a-okay, because we are good enough to overtake the full lap, or not just overtake, lap the full grid. So 6 minutes and 11 seconds and change for the final goal here. That was a fun goal. You know, the event itself, I mean, any event that I don't have to spend any resources on is a good event. So let's see, what was the total reward for this event? We got like 100 gold, right? So not only are we winning the car, which is worth 1150 gold, we're also winning on top of that, in my case, 100 gold without spending any. So that's a pure win. And 500,000 racing dollars, not a big deal. 6,500 victory points, that's helpful, because, you know, that's nice. Anyway, so we've been kind of chipping away at those rewards. So the remainder of the rewards, we got the car, 1950 victory points, 30 gold, and 150,000 racing dollars. So let's pick them up. Time for car delivery. And there it is, Bugatti Bolide. It certainly drives as fun as the way it looks. It's a sharp looking Bugatti, yes. And it's very fast without sacrificing handling too much. You just have to be aware of its speed, right? And yes, it does unlock the single bonus series the car's featured in, Unrivaled, which you can find under the Season 1, right? Under Road Collection. So that's pretty typical. Anyway, we got some parting words from our crew here. Magnus now has to reconsider retiring because the likes of Ahmed, you know, Magnus does not believe is worthy of inheriting his title. Although, is it still his title? Because if I remember correctly, I think we took his title, Lion of Leipzig, when we won the Porsche 919 hybrid, the Weissach package, Spider, right? So, I don't know. This is kind of a little, the plot isn't quite linearly working out here. But you know what? That's okay. Important thing is, we won the car. I won the car. Hopefully you guys too. It's a fun event, not terribly challenging. I mean, any event that you can do without spending any resources, right? So anyway, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care.